Welcome everyone to what I hope is going to be a good, but probably one of my lowest viewed videos there is, because this is the software for controlling an Intelli-MAX Waterjet. Now, there's probably not terribly too many of you out there that have one of these, but maybe it's worth a look-see to see what the software looks like that controls something like this. And those of you that do have one of these, the slim few that are out there that are looking for some documentation on this, you'll probably have already found that the default, there's some videos on the Intelli-MAX website. If you create a login, you can get to these videos. There's not that many. And as far as the rest of it, the internet goes, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything out there on this particular software. And it's kind of, it's not, it's not so good. It's kind of old. It's great. It does what it's supposed to do, but it feels antiquated. And this is actually even the newest version. But let's just say it is what it is. And I want to show you what I've figured out so far. So this is me having a grand total of about a few weeks to a month worth of experience using this. But as you've seen, I do Fusion and, CATIA forever and ever and all the other CAM type softwares that go along with getting from CAM to, creating the object, be it one way or another, be it a laser cutter or a CNC. Know this stuff, so this is just another piece of software to me. But like I said, it is weird and old feeling. It doesn't have a lot of the assumed nuances, behaviors that a typical modern piece of software would have, which I guess you'll see, or maybe you already know. So I will go ahead and get started here. Probably the first thing I want to do, this is the latest version, which let's see here is, so 32, well, that's weird. Okay, so version 32, 6/15/2019. So that is what I'm running here. And the machine that I'm using has a few versions back. So this is also kind of new to me as well. So a couple things have changed here and there, right? So far, no biggie, right? But what I'm going to do, before I go any further, is I'm going to change the preferences back to what I think is probably the best. The white is okay for maybe other CAD software, but I've been liking actually the black. That was the way our machine software was set up by default, and it provides a pretty good contrast. And the red, I guess, sure, red. Should we do what, purple? I don't know. We'll leave it as is. But I do want the background to be black. So I will go ahead and do that. And I don't think I really care to do too much else. You can come through here if you want. You can edit hotkeys, or you can see what they are connected to. And that might be a help also. But for now, I'm going to leave it as is. Now, in order to get this thing cut, we have to go through a couple different processes here. The first is you need to bring in your file that you've got from somewhere else, so it could be art, as in art that you made and then converted to, say, a DXF file. It could be something that you've posted out of your CAM software like Fusion 360 under manufacturer. Okay, so you got to import that in here, and then you're going to create or generate the toolpaths for that here. Incidentally, at this point, until I figure out something different, it's easier to, from Fusion 360, it's easier to go ahead and post it with the Intelli-MAX post processor that's there under your post processors, and just bring it into here. But it comes in with the toolpaths and everything, which you're going to see here in just a second. And then you go ahead and you delete all the toolpaths. It has that function. You can say delete all the toolpaths, and then let this software or you manually create your own. It doesn't seem to work. I'm pretty positive I could get it to work, but for right now, that's been the easiest thing to do. So anyways, the point here is that you're going to bring that file in, and you're going to create the toolpaths here in this. If you look up here it's Intelli-MAX layout. So this is the name of this software. And then after you're done with this, then you're going to take it to this software, which is Intelli-MAX Make. Make is the software that you use to actually control the machine itself. So when you get, say, this, and if you zoom into this, you can see the purple line here is the line that came from our graphic or post or whatever, and the red line is the offset showing that it's going to cut outside of the logo here rather than the inside. And then if you look, here's the beginning of your toolpath. This is where it's going to start. It's going to come over here, and this is your lead in and your lead out. All right. That's already done back in layout. Over here, you're going to hit begin machining. And, after you've done a couple other things here, like make sure that your path start home is set where you want it to be. And then the thing will start going, right? Okay. So in these videos, we'll probably not do too much with Make. This is going to be about getting it to the Make software, mainly because I don't have screen cap software on the one on the mill, and it's a hell of a lot easier for me to do the hard stuff here at my home desk than it is to be trying to sit out in the shop and show both of them. Honestly, after we get it to this stage here, you should know what to do, right? The harder part is, the more convoluted part is back over in layout. Now, what I'm working on today is this right here, this full gasket and gussets. So this is the post from Fusion 360. No, I'm lying. This is not it. So this is something that I created previously. Because I can tell because I've added tabs, and these are not the Fusion 360 tabs. These are tabs that are done in the Intelli-MAX software. So you look here, you see that I'm looking at, it's a filter up here at the top. These are all DXF files because I'm under DXF. What you need to do is hit the drop down and say I'm looking for OMX file. That is the post processor. Possibly you might be looking for an ORD file, which is what this software actually kicks out when it's done. So I'm going to look for OMX file, and then here is my full gasket and gussets. Yes. So this is what I got from Fusion 360, and you can see that, let's real quickly, let's do a contrast here. So the lead in, lead outs from Fusion is really just come in here, start, and go. And then once it's done, it leaves right from that spot. And honestly, I can't tell you, well, I'll show you in a bit why it breaks, okay? Now, if I flip back to, we'll go to that DXF file. Yeah, here we go. Their lead in and out, lead outs that they create is an in, comes in, and then it backs away a little bit, and then it takes off, okay? That's what you're going to do over here in this window with the lead ins, okay? So we'll come over here and go to OMX file, grab the full, hit open. Oh, so this is new. I don't normally get this when I import the stuff in on the older software. The toolpath you've imported in layout contains one of them. Oh, right. So I might have seen this before. It's just saying that it lifts up. Fusion 360 is saying to lift up and move somewhere, most likely. So we're going to say okay. And I normally you come over here and under lead in and lead out is where it is on the older software, but here it is on auto path. If you go here, you can say erase leads and traverses. So this is nice. It'll get rid of all the Fusion 360 created pathing, sort of, but it will leave the shape behind. I've been liking this because rather than a three-dimensional STL or having the possibility that you might have lines over top of lines or any kind of problem with that, it's been easier for me so far to just do the post and then delete this. You might find creating, sorry, I think I said STL, the DXF file. You can create a DXF file as well in whatever your software is and come over here and do the same thing. So then what I can do is I'll go to post. And if I, we'll just run it. What you do is you hit this, and it should tell you where your problems are. Come over here, and, I don't know how tight you want to zoom in, but it just wants to pick the start point. If you pick somewhere out in here, it says, nope, you must do better. But you get kind of sort of close, it picks it, and then it goes and heads off. And so then what we're seeing here is it'll show you where your problem is. And it's interesting because it shows it being here, but it's taken off over to, I don't think that's a problem. I think it's mainly right here. So anyways, I know I'm going to delete all this stuff anyways because it was created in Fusion 360. But if you were making it by hand or you're using the auto router and something isn't quite working right, I think probably the auto router will make it work. It'll just be not what you want. So you'll probably be doing it by hand and you make a little bit of a mistake, and this will highlight that. So you come in here. Tangent, sort of. No, it's not a tangent. It's just probably too much information right now, but I'll just tell you anyways. If you do bring in a post file, you post it from, say, Fusion, and you made perfect circles, but you get these errors. I was having this problem. You'd come in here and say, oh, we're an error with this thing, error with this one. And what happens is, let's zoom into this one here. You can see here. So here is a point and here's a point. This is what a circle should look like after you bring it out, in pretty much any program. If you know that it's a perfect circle. If you were to look at this circle right here and all of a sudden there's like 5, 6, 8, 10 points right along here, you kind of got to know that something happened. In the case of Fusion 360 or a lot of CAD, CAM softwares, the STL generation in the CAM software it tessellated the surface and it created too many points there. So your G code is either a bunch of G01 lines, little polylines go boom, 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 or possibly some G02, G03s with little baby arcs. The main point here is that you've got too many lines and something happens between this and that program where if you zoom in really close, you'll find that the multiple points that you have here and the multiple lines, at some point in time, there's either a gap between them or there's a couple lines that are crisscrossing, which then is, the software doesn't know what to do with that because it doesn't see if it's a solid or an in or out or what it's supposed to do, okay? So the fix for that is smoothing. So far, this is what I've been doing, and you could just create a DXF file, but maybe you end up with the same problem. I'm not really sure yet because, again, I don't do that. So if you're having that problem, the default is 4/10 of a thou, right? 0.0004. Bring the smoothing up to 1/1000th of an inch, and I've been having good results. This is these are 5mm holes. Okay, so far in that situation, okay. All right. I do not want this video to be very long. This is supposed to be a piece of software that I'm looking at and I'm showing you what's going on, and it's going to be probably a part of a new series of videos that I'll just continue to show this, and tell you what I learn along the way, and hopefully it helps somebody out. But I don't want to sit here and try to make this the grand tutorial of everything. So let's get to the point. The point right now is get rid of all of the toolpaths. So I'll erase the leads and traverses. So this is what you get. Now this is done. Highly recommend come up here and hit save. So now we've saved it. Now when you do hit the save button, it won't ask you what you want to name it or anything like that, but it does save it as a new file in the same location as the OMX file. So whatever the name of the OMX file, this will be that name DXF, okay? Now, along the way, though, if you are making changes or you're going to go down a route that you're not sure, how it's going to go, remember, you can always come up here and you can hit Save As and make it a different DXF file. All right. S for select. So there's your first hotkey, which I apparently went brainless a second ago. There's a handful of these, and I'm learning them as I go. So maybe we'll hit that real quick. S is select, and if you say SA, that's select all. And then if you want to deselect, you hit D, but now I can click on something to deselect it, but I want to say A for all. So SA selects all. Now you don't have to hit them both at the same time. You can just hit, if you can hear my keys, just hit SA, that's select all, and then D, deselect all, okay? Now you might have noticed that I keep clicking and zooming all the time because it ends up defaulting to the damn magnifying glass. I hope maybe somewhere up here I can change the default icon to select. So you might find it handy to hit the S every time you're done, just so you know you're on the select tool. All right. Now, what we probably would maybe want to do is come over here to auto path and then just say do it. So you hit this, and you guys that watch my videos, if you've watched any of the KiCad videos, this is pretty analogous to an auto router, and kind of ends up with similar type problems, as in it doesn't route things the way that you might want them to be, and it might route them badly. So in this particular case, what we might want to have happen is, for example, keep in mind what's going to get left behind and what's going to fall away, and what might get cut away and then move. So what I'm kind of trying to get at is I probably want to make all the holes first, and I think it's usually smart enough to go around and do that, you see? So this is here, then it comes here, going around. So it does look like it's doing that. And then finally, some last little bit, it'll go into here and it will route around each one of these shapes. So that could be okay, but you might want to watch for that. So if it doesn't do it the way you want, then as of yet, I haven't found a way to say, select this area and auto route that. I don't think it's possible. So I've been stuck with just doing it by hand. Cut to the chase. This video, I kind of want to show you that it's tedious, but it's not terribly too bad to do it by hand, because you get what you want. When you got a bajillion little holes all over here, yeah, it's a pain in the ass. And if you're doing prototyping where you're going to change this quite frequently, yeah, then maybe it's even more of a pain in the ass. But here's what you get. You can do all of these holes, and then you could cut the outline, do the holes, do the outline, or in whatever way that you want. Because another thing that might happen on a Waterjet is, as it's moving around, if my cursor right here is the thing moving, if you do something like you cut the holes, and then maybe, let's say that you cut this thing out like this, and then you go somewhere else, if in the course of the head moving, it tracks over a part that was already done, you have a fair amount of a likelihood that the part on the Waterjet will tilt. It'll tilt out of the machine and the head will hit it on the way. So you try to avoid going over the top of parts that have already been cut out. The auto router might avoid that. It seems, again, to probably do fairly okay in that. But again, by hand, you can watch for that yourself. Then from here, if you want to see what it's actually doing, this right here is just all the traverses with the lead in and lead outs. But if you want to see how it's actually cutting, the thing you want to do is what I did a minute ago. You want to hit post and then zoom in here and then pick the start point. Once you do this, it will track everything out, and you can kind of see from a distance here. Let's go to, it goes from here to the first hole up here. You're seeing the lead in, comes in, goes around, and then it goes out, okay? So again, focus on this. This is the line we want. The purple line here is the one that we want to have, and it's smart enough now to know cut on the inside. Then go around to the next, to the next. If you have any, watch what you do. If you did anything that's not super, a hole inside of a thing, if there's extra shapes going on here, go around and check every single one to make sure that it's doing what you believe. In a second, I am going to show you how this goes awry. I'll go ahead and cancel this. Incidentally, if I did like this, if I did like the toolpaths here, that's it. Video done. All you have to do is you hit save, and then you'll move on to make after that, because it's basically saying, this is the toolpaths created. Do you accept it? Yes, I do. Off we go. Okay? Pretty easy. The whole reason for videos is when you want to do things manually. So we'll close that, get back to here, and we'll go ahead and erase the traverses for right now. And then we're going to add a couple things. Here's the thing with this part. I want to be able to take this out in one piece, okay? On the Waterjet, there's the slats, there's the water, you got these little parts. I cut this out, and it falls down in the water. Now, there is a little cage on, one side of the machine that only goes down about, a foot or so, I guess. So you can kind of get in there and grab it, but between the slats, it's kind of difficult. Hopefully, I'm showing you a picture up here somewhere so you can see what I'm talking about. If you're cutting something like this over on, let's say, the deep end, it's about a full arm's length down there. I can tell you that because we've had to dig down in there, and you'll pretty much go up to your shoulder trying to reach down to grab a part. So you need to get these like little kid toy grabbers that you can reach in and get. Anyways, I think you can kind of get that that's a bit of a pain in the ass. So I don't want these things to fall into the tub, and I would like to be able to take the piece out in one piece and deliver it to the people that need it, not a whole handful of little pieces. So what I'm looking at is some tabs. I want to put some tabs on this to keep these little guys in here. I'll go ahead and cut away this intersection. No, I won't. I'll leave tabs in here so that it'll all be one piece, but I will cut the whole outside out. And that will be my very last operation. Just like in the middle here, I didn't say it, but hopefully it was kind of implied. You want to do your holes first and then cut this thing out, or do all the holes and then cut these things out. Because if I cut this out first, it will move this thing around. Your holes will not line up. Now, this is not like a laser cutter or anything that's gentle like that, as in I could lay a piece of paper down and, well, paper sometimes kind of rough because there is a little bit of a fan. But what I'm getting at is you could lay down something light and it'll just sit still because the laser itself doesn't really make it move. This Waterjet, it has a low pressure. It has a low pressure for doing engraving and such of 10,000 psi. The cutting pressure is 50,000 psi. It is easily strong enough as it's blowing through the metal, as it's initially cutting through and continuing to cut. As it cuts through, it will develop a little bit of an angle, but I mean, not much at all. You know, we can cut through 2-inch stuff and I would say it's hardly perceptible. But what I'm saying is, as it's blowing through that, it could easily move this piece over. It could move the whole 50-pound sheet, 80-pound, 100-pound. It probably, if you're trying to be precision, keep some level of accuracy with this thing, you want to keep it clamped down and you want to watch what you cut out. Okay, whole hell of a lot of extra conversation. Now, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start adding some tabs. So I can see, sorry, this video is going to be quite a bit longer than I thought, as usual. So I'm going to create a tab and look at this. So the tabs, oh, new version. Tabs are a little bit angled. I'll bring it, if you just bring it close-ish to something, you see how the tab's going to go there? Well, how do I want to break this out? So I'll put the tabs, this is the same conversation on the CNCs as well. If I put a tab here, 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 on all four sides, it's going to be pretty difficult to break it out. Not really, oh my God, difficult, but I'm going to have to get a Dremel tool or some kind of cutting tool to cut it out. If I were to put one here and maybe one over here, then all I'm going to have to do is twist the thing by hand back and forth and it'll break right out. That seems great. Now, because of the separation on this part here, if I put one here and I put one here, they're going to go together and it's going to cut the whole thing out. So that's not going to work out. So I'm going to put one over here and then I am going to put another one. What's the hotkey for this? Create tab. So check this out. I just found this. In the last program, the previous version, if you selected tab would stay on, and so I could just keep clicking tab, 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 tab. One of the few that actually stuck on, that was great. The other ones pissed me off because they don't. But anyways, this one is obviously it's not sticking on, so I would like to know what the hotkey is, and I just noticed that they have show keyboard equivalents up here, and I can scroll around, and for example, S, if you're under normal mode, S is select. Okay, so what I want, Control T for tab. That's a bit of a pain, but okay, I can do that. So go here and we'll hit Control T, there's a tab, and now I can place it here, Control T, put it there. Incidentally, that is kind of the first clue into why this is kind of a pain in the ass software. Things that don't stay toggled on kind of nonstop bothers me. So, okay, stay focused with what you're doing. Make sure you know where you're at. Oops. Then the last, I want to add some tabs on the inside here. So Control T again. Where am I going to place those? Well, now this isn't a CNC again, right? So if I hit tab, I put a tab, say, right up over here, and maybe another one over cross-cornered over here, that's going to be enough to hold it in place. It's not going to jump around. It's just, it is the pressure of the water I was talking about, but it's different than having a mill press into it. So that's going to be fine. I did also just notice another hotkey here that if, because they lost pan because pan wasn't the key, wasn't the mouse buttons any longer. If you just hit your arrow keys left and right, side to side, up and down, that's pan now. Now I think this is good. This is really all I need to do. So now I'm going to go ahead and run auto router, and I think I know what's going to happen. Based on the older program, maybe I'll luck out and it's been fixed. We shall see. So I come over here and we say auto path, quick, and let's see what happens. So it's going to start up here, and well, first off, that's no good. Wasn't expecting that. So it starts from here, and the first thing it does is go to this tab, and it starts cutting out. You don't see it right now, but it's going to go to the tab here, and it's going to start cutting this out, and then later it's going to do the holes, and that's going to be a huge problem. That's not going to work because it's going to move around when we try to cut it, and no way will they be on. Let's hit post. I'll pick the start, and I'll show you what else I believe is going to happen. We'll come up here, and we go here, and look. It hits this first tab. This, I've noticed this, by the way, this double green line crap, that's some kind of artifact glitch. It's I don't know what it's trying to show you. Anyways, let's pretend that they don't exist. You see what this is right here? Here's the line, and the cut line for the Waterjet is on the inside of the part. Now, this one's going to be a little bit tough to maybe catch, but when you hit the line, wherever you start on the line, wherever the lead-in begins at, it puts, by default, and you can change it, but by default, it puts the cut line on the left of the line of travel. So if you come in here to this lead-in right here, you have to go this way. There's no skipping across and going this way, so you're going this direction, and then put the line on the left, and you can see it's incorrect. So if I did want to do this first, cut the outline out first, I would want to start over on this one, and it would put it there, okay? So there's that. Now, when I go over to the holes, yeah, the holes do look okay, but this is no good. So we got to kind of fix that. So this is the beginning. This is the beginning of how things go to hell really quickly. In the beginning, when you hit auto route, whatever, you know, the quick auto path, and it works great, click, 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 go to the Waterjet, that's your perfect world situation, which I found to not happen very frequently. So let's go ahead and close this. We'll go back to here, and instead of just deleting everything, let's see what we can do with fixing this. So we come over here, you hit S for select, you pick this line right here. Also, you can, by the way, just sort of paint through it. Let me do that again so you can see. I'm on select right now, and I just hold it down, and you just draw through anything. So that's maybe a little bit handy. And then hit delete, and it gets rid of that line. Okay? Now, I want to create a line. So I'm going to pick this, and I'm going to say from down here somewhere. That's okay. And I want to get over here to this. But I don't want to go to that one. I want to go to this one. Get ready. Here's where the stupid comes in. I need it to snap to here. So, okay, this is maybe not super stupid, but if I click here, it's just going to go wherever I click. It's not going to snap to anything. I have a bunch of hotkeys. I can say N for near to, and it will click to wherever is nearest to this line. The one I want that you're going to use most frequently in this case, you're going to hit E. I don't know why it says of. End of, E of, I guess. End of line. So if I'm just close to that, it's going to snap there. So that's okay. I'll hit S for select again, and I'm going to get rid of that line because that's where it's going away. So we get rid of that. And now I have to Shoot. Oh, it was going up to there. Okay, I should have looked at the end. I should have looked at the end before I did that. Now I'm going to hit L, L for line. Okay, so more hotkeys, L for line, and then E for end. It doesn't remember E for end, so I'm going to say LE, LE. Get used to that. Stretch your fingers out and be on the keyboard. LE, LE, LE. And then zoom out, and then get over here. Zoom in, hit E. Don't forget to hit E. This will piss you off more and more all the time. So you hit that there. Now I'm right at the end line. So now this one here, it goes to this one first. And like I said, it cuts on the left. So it's going to hit here, go around on the left, here, and out. Okay? Now let's see if that fixes things. So god dang, don't want to hit clean. Hit post, pick your start point, go here. Now we'll see we come up to here, and where are we at? Goes here, goes around. It's yay, we're good. So it cuts on the left of the line. Oh, shoot, screwed that up. It leaves here and goes to somewhere else. That's funny. But anyways, you see the point that I was trying to prove here, that it does cut on the outside of this, okay? So we have to go through and we have to fix all those. And honestly, it's going to be at this point in time easier and more for what I wanted to show you anyways if we go ahead and just get rid of everything and do it by hand. Why is it easier to do it by hand, and why not just fix the outlines? Well, remember, I don't want to cut the outlines first. I want to do the holes first. And that's just not happening. I can't just do that with the auto path. So I have to do it by hand. Even if it did do it, oh, look at this. That is probably going to be, oh, no, that's okay. This is one of those multiple dot things I was talking about in zoom, zoom, zoom. No, that one seems to be fine. If you see more than 2 dots, question it. So I was going to show you the AutoPath Advanced, just to show you that there wasn't really anything in there to help. But when I open it up, I have noticed that this is a lot different than the previous one, at least visually. They've got a few more strategies on how they work it. And honestly, I don't think I knew the window before enough. Memorized it, because it might have been actually the same. This one just maybe has more pictures. I was hoping that maybe it had a way to say do holes first and then do the other stuff. But I guess not. So anyways, I did want to show you what is under the advanced. So if you're watching me click the auto path quick and are thinking that, hey, dummy, how come you don't just click that because that'll do it? It doesn't seem to, as far as what I see. All right then, so getting to business with the way I'm doing this now. And I imagine in the future, when I do more videos on this, I bet I change a bit. So this is just me new, and again, I'm trying to make a video for anybody out there that might be wondering about how to use this software because of the limited amount of resources available. So I need to create a bunch of lead in and lead outs. This is our first thing. On anything that's closed like a circle here that doesn't have a line sticking of a tab or someplace that you don't care about how you start it, we need to put in a lead in, and this one's fine, either or, right? To put inside of each one of these holes. Let's start with that. So the hotkey for that is V. So it looks like a little V now, right? And if I zoom in and I click this, you'll see what you get is this little triangle, okay? Now, I'm going to click, and you'll get a long one and a short one. The long one is where it's going to start, go around, and then leave, okay? Now, you can move the lead, and so you can come over here and you can click it, then you can move it, okay, if you didn't have it quite in the right location. Or you can come over here and you can say swap the lead direction, and then it will flip-flop the way that it comes in or goes out, okay? So I'll undo that. So what you want to do then is go around and just start adding these all over the place. So you get pretty quick at it, and I don't know if you can hear me clicking, but yes, you've got to click every time. It would be really helpful if they made some things stick, or at least give you kind of like some programs you can double click an icon to get it to kind of be sticky. Uh, so anyways, clicking. I'll go ahead and fast forward this video when I get done. Okay, so that's it. Make sure you hit save, just in case. I haven't had any problems with this software crashing, by the way, so that's a good thing, of course. All in all, it was tedious, but I think it probably took me, 2-3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, I guess, I don't know, to do all these holes. If it's a part that's important to you and you want to get it done good, you want to get it done optimal and not break the machine, I don't see this as being terribly too much of a deal killer. Then, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the actual, the pathing, the traverses, and, well, we got the lead in, lead out. So we're just going to make the traverses going around the part in the order that we want them in, okay? So I could come up here and I could do all the holes and then cut the thing out, do all the holes and, cut it out. It might, in the course of coming back through here, possibly hit something at an angle, so it's probably best to just go through and do all the holes. If you're trying to optimize for speed, then you might find that, a different strategy is in order, okay? But for now, I'm going to do all the holes. To get started, you're going to come over here and you're going to hit line or L, and then you're going to find your start point. This is going to be important. So this is, this is your 0 basically. We're going to start from here. And then where do we want to go to? The first hole, this hole right here. Let's say we go here, we'll just go around. Now remember L-E, L-E, L freaking E. L for line, E for the endpoint. Then right away, L-E. And then I can hit that one. So this is how this works. Lead in, go around, and then come out. Then I'll go to the next hole up here, hit E, click on it, L-E to get that one. Zoom in, E, don't forget, L-E, and then keep going around. But before I go too much further, I want to make sure that this is working the way it's supposed to be working. So we go ahead and we come over here and we hit post, and then pick your start point and see that it's actually doing what it's supposed to be doing without any errors, as in like breaks in those circles I was talking about, and that it's cutting on the inside. If you pick the wrong one, you could end up having going the wrong direction. So it does look like everything's fine. So then we can go ahead and close it without saving it, and we'll just come back here and continue on. Okay, I will be back after I get all the traverses done on just the holes. L-E, E, L-E. All right, all the holes are done. Make sure you save the program again. And then the next thing to do, so what we've got all of our holes around here, which probably was not the most optimal way to go about doing the holes, but whatever, I was on a roll, and then come through here and did all the holes inside of these other little pieces. The next thing to do, though, then is to cut out the outline. So we're going to start from our last lead in, lead out, right? And then we're going to go around to one of the beginnings of our tabs. Now, we don't have to have lead ins, lead outs on these tabs, because by definition, by their task, I guess, a tab is starting on the outside, so that's good enough for a lead in. We can just run it straight over. Probably before you go any further, though, why don't you hit post and make sure that you don't have any errors. So apparently, look at that. There's an error right there, and this is what I was talking about when you, whatever you bring it over, be it a DXF or, an OMX file, whatever, you're going to have potentially a problem with something along the way. Now, the part that's actually, kind of weird to me is, why did this one have a problem and none of the others? So we'll close this, and then we'll go look at Oh, I forgot. Is it this one? I think it's this one. But let's zoom in here and see. Oh, look. Here we go. See this right here? Piles of little dots. And if you look carefully, there you can see that these are overlapping. Now, we've got a couple different ways that we could take care of this. I guess it's not, because of this, it's not a perfect circle. So if we trim it off, we could try trimming it and see what that does. But it might not be perfect. And just because this is a little angularly, out like this, maybe this curve isn't perfect. Maybe the circle in itself is not perfect. But again, this is just 5 millimeters. So I kind of want to feel like I could kind of fudge it out either way and it's going to be fine. If that is not good enough for you, then yeah, you'll want to come up with something else. So let's see what we can do here to fix this. What I'll try first is up here, there's a divide box, and anything with the arrow, you can right click on it and it will drop out to extra things. So I think let's try divide at nearest intersection. So it looks like maybe over here they intersect and maybe it will clip it right there. So let's give that a shot. So we come over here, we'll hit that line right there. Oh, did it do it? I don't think it did it. So if we go to S, we select it. No, wait, what? Let's just delete that. What do we got? Yeah, no, that's no good. But, so anyways, that wasn't going to work, but it did, something did seem to be okay. So now I could go ahead and add another line there to connect those. Should I? Let's go ahead and just try to fix this then. I mean, this is a 5 millimeter hole, and there is a little tiny gap in here that's got to be in the order of some kind of like 50 micron or something. So we can fudge it. So what we will do is we'll go here to line. No, I want to go here to an arc. So I'm going to go right click on circle, and I can do a 3-point arc. So come here, and I got to pick the end of this. So what do? I hit E for end, and then E for end, and then I can lay this in here and shoot for tangent, and then click. Okay. I did see somewhere along here there's a tangent, but I don't know where it is now. Okay. So we got close enough. It kind of did a little disappearing thing. I don't know what the hell that was, but it looks pretty damn close enough. Now, the thing that's really important, this is not green for selected. If I click away or if I hit DA for deselect all, that actually is green and these are purple. And so now this is a good time to talk about what the hell that means. So if I zoom back out here, the greens are traverse lines. These orange ones are lead in and lead outs, and the purples are actually cut lines, lines to be cut of a certain, look down here, quality. So you have a level of quality, the speed at which it's going to go across there to cut and make a nice, really smooth cut. And pretty much for most things, we use a quality of 3, okay? That's what the purple is. So see, if it was kind of a reddish, then that'd be quality 1. Rough cut, 2 would be medium, and that'd be some whatever, like magenta-ish. This is super magenta, and there's purple, and there's a blue. How about that, right? So we'll go with a 3. So what we got to do is I pick a quality of 3. My cursor is now set up to do that, and I pick the green traverse line, and it turns purple. And that's it. So that's what you want to do. If you make any shapes in this program by hand, you might default start with just one of these shapes and it comes out green. Make sure that you change it to a cut line under the quality. Over here, if you look at your etch and scribe, there's water only, but etch with abrasive and scribe no abrasive, water only cut. So that one, you play around with that, see what you like. I have not yet done this one. These ones work pretty good. I think I have done, I better just shut up because I don't know. I think I've done etch, but I can't honestly remember. So let's go back. Let's go back now to post, and let's see if we fixed that problem. So I hit pick start, and wow, did I get him? Was that the only one? I was actually hoping for another one so I could show you another way to do this, to deal with that, but it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. Everywhere it looks pretty good. Okay. So I'll close that, and then we can continue on. Then for the last little bit, I want to connect to one of the lead-ins or one of the tabs here so I can start cutting out each one of these features. Should I cut out these before these? In this case, it doesn't really matter. What I don't want to do is cut the outside. I'm going to do that last. So we might as well just, since this is the where we ended, we might as well just jump over to here. But remember this, LE, oops, click LE, and I'm going to go from here, and I want to go to one of these lines over here. Remember that it's going to put the cut line on the left. So if I started right here and start driving down this way, left is on the wrong side. So I want to go over here. I want to hit E for end. Click right there. It will come down here. It'll travel around, and then check this. It's going to come around here to the next lead in, or the next tab, sorry. And then what's it going to do? Are you going to go from here to the next, from here to the next? What's the most efficient? What is going to keep the thing safest? You know, you make the call there. What I have been doing is we'll go from here to E to there. So you just bridge it. So it's going to come along here, come out. This is a cut. So it'll come out here and cut, stop, move over to here, and then start cutting the rest of the way. Left will be on the outside, so that's good. It will get over to here, and then we'll move on from this point. So then we'll connect another one to here, and then up to here. Go around over to here. LE. Oh, shoot, that was not LE. LE, click, E, click, gets it there. Zip in, zip out. And then move on to the next one. I don't know if you want to keep some pattern, OCD, rhyme, and reason to everything. I have no idea, honestly, what I do. I just sort of click random everywhere right now. Oh, piss. Escape drops the tool. It defaults to the damn magnifying glass, but there, LE. Of course, remember Control Z. You know, if you make a mistake, you can undo it. E over here. LE here. Back down here. E, click. LE. E, bridge. E, bridge. There we go. Oops, oops. No, not oops. LE, click. E, get. Oh my God. Piss. LE, E, LE, and whoa, what the hell? Oh no, I'm done. Okay. So, last one here, and then I need to come over to this inside, and again, cut on the left. So this is the part we want to keep. So we're going to start here. It'll go around. Put it on the left. It'll get around to the other tab we made. Same story. We'll just bridge this across. Goes around, comes around to here, and then we're almost done, and we have to connect to the outside. So then our problem with the outside is that we don't have tabs on it, where I want this to actually come out so I can easily just pick this thing up, and that's not going to be a problem now that everything else in the middle is cut out. So we have to go to lead in, lead out, and just pick a spot. So it leaves right here, and we might as well just put one, how about right there? Okay, so LE, click right there. We'll go to there. Now this could be a little bit tricky. So this one, well, let's just see what happens. So I'll hit this, okay, and then we'll do a path. Let's do a save first. We'll hit save, and then we'll go to post. I'm actually hoping it's going to screw up so I can show you something different. If it doesn't, then I'll make it screw up so you can see. Everything looks, by the way, here, everything is on the outside that I can see. So that part's good. And it finishes this, goes around and cuts all this on. Oh, it went good. Okay. Anyways, So it cuts everything on the inside here, and it cuts this on the outside. But depending upon where this was placed or which one you connected to, it might decide to start going a different direction. So if you did have a mistake, if that wasn't supposed to cut on that side of the line, what you can do is you can say swap lead in directions. So you hit that and it flips the two of them around. And then if I do a post, click here, then when you look here, it's now coming in and it's going, let's see, so it'll be going this direction and cutting on the left. You see? Not what we want in this case. So make sure you're very mindful of that as you go along the way. So we switch that back. I know it's good, but it's probably a good idea just to kind of give it a check. And we're back to okay. All right. So that is the whole kind of basic process. I'm thinking as I was going through here, I got off, of course, on some different tangents here and there, and I actually tried to keep myself from doing that too much. So I'll make a couple little short tips and tricks videos as I kind of come up with them. But from here, this is the last thing. So you say, this is good. This is my toolpath done. I'm going to go ahead and save this. So you hit save. And now what it just did is it saved it as an ORD file that now I can right click. Now I can right click on post, which incidentally, this would have been grayed out before. But now I can say open the ORD path in make. So it'll open up make. And then I'll be able to be ready to cut. So when you get to this window right here, it's going to say, here's the thing that you just made. Here it is, full gasket and gussets.org file. And I would like to cut it out of some 6061 aluminum, and it is 1/2 inch thick, or it's 1/4 inch thick, or whatever. The tool offset, by the way, this is at home, so mine isn't set up right, but the tool offset on our machine is 15 thousandths of an inch. And then I could say it's 0.25 because that's what the actual material is, and I could hit OK. All right. So then there it is, computing, ready to cut. After it's all done, I will go ahead and jog the machine into the corner that I want it to be. I will, I will zero out path start home, just like anything, just CNC, zero it out where you want it to be. Where this point is here. Give yourself room. By the way, give yourself room to cut. I think, if you don't want to keep the part super duper straight and aligned, give yourself 100 thou, maybe more of an edge margin on your actual stock, right? You do not want to cut this right along the edge because it will deflect the water and maybe cause you physical problems, but really it's not going to make your part good. So give yourself a decent edge margin there. And then set your Z. So you're going to bring your Z down and keep it, we've been keeping it somewhere about 55, 65 thousandths of an inch off the material itself. And zero the Z out, and then you're all good to go. Then you hit start, boom, and then the machine will start running and you'll have your part. All right. So that is not a short video at all. I know this is not going to be short. I'm thinking right now how I'm going to edit this down, but honestly, it's probably going to be one of my hour-long videos. But let's just call this a really good start. And then as I run into new things or I realize that this video was a whole bunch of BS and I was wrong on a whole lot of accounts, I'll come back and add more into it. So again, probably not the most watched video because there's not a lot of you out here that have one of these, but I will do my best anyways for those of you that do to get some kind of documentation out there so we can help understand this weird ass software. All right, thanks everyone.